I don't want a lot for Christmas. I just don't want to gain this weight. Why?
Keep your daytime job.
It's always a hater in the room, but that's neither
Of
here nor y'all.
course.
Welcome back. Welcome back to episode Dirty 30 of the Fitness Headspace Podcast. Don't mind the inside joke, y'all. But welcome back to Fitness Headspace Podcast. We are your hosts, Joy, Monique, and Deion Avril, y'all, coming back with another episode, staying with this holiday theme right now. So right now, talking about how to deal with the stresses of the holidays. And you know, most of us, with stress comes a little bit of change in the eating habits. So we're going to work through this today. Okay. We're going to set some game plans together, like how we do each and every episode, get some good tips, some good outlines, and some good conversation, you know, some good back and forth dialogue between me, Deion, and everybody who's going to be down below in the comment section. So to kind of get things rolling, what is stress? Okay, y'all. So stress is our body's natural response to things both real and perceived. Need y'all to really hear me say it slow and let that sink in. Things real and perceived can cause stress on the body. So whether it's really happening to you as of right now in this moment, or if this is a thing that you anticipate happening, your body has a very real reaction to it. And so this can be caused by, you know, various life things, just, you know, life in general. So major life changes, whether it be relationships, work, school, your finances, family, of course, having kids, whatever like that. Just anything that can happen in your day-to-day life can cause minor stresses. And then what happens is that things can start to kind of like build upon each other to where one stress compounds on another one. And then you have all these different physical like manifestations of the things that you go through throughout your day-to-day. So, and it shows up in various forms. So just name a few, and me and Deion are going to kind of like piggyback on these to kind of like give you guys an idea of the other signs to kind of look out for. So you're starting to have, you know, more headaches. You're starting to feel a little more restless. Issues with your digestion I feel like it's a real key sign. Starting to feel a little constipated here and there. It's not going to be a regular thing, or you know, a loss of appetite in general can be a good indication, or an increased appetite. If we go either way, it can be a good indicator of your levels of stress. Of course, anxiety, I feel like is a real major thing that I think anybody can kind of realize when you're anxious, get that heartbeat pounding, you feel like a little jittery. All those are really, you know, key telltale signs. Fatigue is also another one as well. Just not as energized as you usually are throughout your day-to-day. You're feeling a little bit more like you kind of just want to ho hum through the day, not really giving yourself like the full engagement into whatever is going on. Deion, what are some things you kind of that they can kind of look out for as far as like telltale signs of stress being on the body?
Yeah, for sure. And you made some really good points. The other one, and these are all, again, we see them day to day. So an increase or decrease of food consumption. So a lot of people don't really think about it, but sometimes, and even myself, I catch myself where I use food as a crutch or as a coping mechanism. And that's what we really want to avoid. So if you notice that you're not eating as much, you kind of feel down, like we said, you know, fatigue, stress, mood swings, things of that nature. These are all things that go into play. Not only that, drug and alcohol abuse.
Yeah.
Again, all you're really doing is trying to subdue that feeling or that emotion. So if you feel like you can drown it out with a bottle and it takes you to sleep, you still got to wake up with the same shit tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, not to sound black and white, but that's really what it is. And not only even just that, your disturbed sleep patterns. So because your circadian rhythm is off whack due to the fact of you being stressed, you literally, your body is always restless. You know what I mean? So you don't really have that opportunity to get that restful sleep that you need to get into that deep sleep, that REM sleep where you're actually, you know, recovering as well too, and really just taking time to unwind with your body. Then you go into things like lack of focus, which is actually something that I was going through last week because of stress. So I'm even speaking out of a personal experience.
Yeah.
And it does reduce your cognitive functionality. So I'm talking about being sleep deprived and only getting 3-4 hours of sleep, or sleeping 8 hours within the last 48 hours. It got to a point to where you're just not even you're just moving. You know what I mean? And there was something that I was doing that I literally forgot. I was just like, oh, oops, like 3 hours later,
Your body
you
just
know?
like on a real like autopilot. Like, it's just going off of like, muscle memory, off of
Right.
habit. You're not really present in the moment. You're not
Mm-hmm.
really aware of what's going on. So I think both of us have experienced that, over the last couple of weeks, couple of months. So a very real thing that I think pretty much anybody can relate to for sure, for sure.
100%. And then we got things like social withdrawal because then you become a little bit more antisocial. You just don't feel like you have that energy. You're not in the mood to talk to anybody. You're kind of in that funk. This one, weakened immune system. That along with lack of sleep is probably one of the worst things, and like your digestion process as well. I've even noticed because of the lack of sleep and stress, my face started breaking out again, and it has nothing to do with what I'm eating. It's literally I'm not sleeping, and I'm not finding a way to reduce that stress at that point in time. Not only just that, it can lead to chronic illnesses, and this is over a period of time. So whether it's insomnia, like whatever it is, you know what I mean? And these are things that will at some point affect you physically along with mentally. So whether it's you're going to the doctors and your doctor's like, hey, all of these vitamins are completely low, like your blood count is da da da, like these are other things that they're going to start noticing. Talking about hormonal imbalances,
Yeah.
infertility, fellas, your testosterone being super low, ladies, your estrogen being kind of like, whacked out, you know what I mean? And your levels being, abnormal. So these are some of the things that I would say, along with what you were saying, are huge, huge factors as far as, how the stress manifests.
Right. And the whole thing about wanting to be able to manage it is that because of how it manifests, within your body, as far as physical things, having that weakened immune system, having your heart constantly pounding in a more like abnormal rate, those, even if it's like, periods of happen, if it happens like, periodically often enough, it turns into a chronic condition. And what the whole thing is that we wanted to avoid it turning into a chronic condition. So the best way to kind of counteract that is either to have things that kind of like prevent it from getting to that point, or being able to kind of counteract the effects of it. And so we're kind of going into some ways of having some good stress management practices. This is where, for y'all who are listening or watching on the YouTube channel, wherever you guys are at, go ahead and get that pen, the pad, the notepad on your phone, whatever like that. There are things you guys want to kind of just take, either like, even some good mental notes on things that you can start to even implement tonight, tomorrow, whatever like that, to kind of help, reduce those stress levels. For one, of course, I'm always going to recommend working out. Okay. This is just, I feel like exercising, especially, at least for me personally, over the last year, dealing with the pandemic, things like that or whatever, this is like the best way to relieve stress. Your mind is focused on something else. You're focusing on feeling your muscles work, your body moving, and then your body naturally like releases endorphins and all of these happy hormones and chemicals that naturally make you feel more upbeat, more, in like a more positive up mood than what you would be if you continue to have, have more of a sedentary lifestyle. And it's not having to, do anything that's so crazy. For anybody who's just starting out on their journey, finding ways for you that works for you to keep you, to keep you more active, whether it's going to a sports team, like, that's local in your area, dance class, working out at home, going to the gym with a friend, or even solo if you're really about that life. Whatever, works for you to kind of keep you up and running, walking around the park, walking through your office, during your break. It's just small things that kind of keep your body up and moving and helping to reduce those stress levels. I'm always going to recommend 10 out of 10. Would highly recommend. This is something I've also tried as of recently, and I'm trying to become more consistent with it. Y'all pray with me. Journaling. Journaling has been or is an amazing way to relieve stress, because a lot of times we kind of keep things bogged up in our minds. So it's like we feel emotions, we're going through certain scenarios, and sometimes we don't always have that ear to really like, hear you out, to really feel like you have somebody to be that emotionally vulnerable to. I would definitely say take a good audit of your circle and find at least that one person. And if not, not to look for so much as the advice to come back. Of course, if they have something to give you, then of course be able to receive it. But just having like, a good soundboard, somebody who can be neutral and unbiased, but also still be a good listening ear. But If not, journaling is also an amazing way to just let out some of those thoughts, let out some of those emotions, and really put a name to what those stressors are. And that's a really big thing too, doing a lifestyle audit. So figuring out what is causing me this stress. Is it that every time I go to my job, somebody has to just nitpick at what I do, or I'm not really enjoying my career, whatever like that, or I'm coming home and my home isn't a place of peace and serenity like how it may have once been. What's causing this change? Who do I need to talk to about the change going on in my household? How can we come into a new resolution to kind of at least get this one part of my stressor to kind of just go off to the side? Figure out what it is in your life, figure out because it can be something that's very minute and small, like figure out what that change is kind of causing your stress levels to rise, and then tackle it head on. Figure out who you got to talk to, what changes to make, what things look like, what plans to put in place to kind of help counteract those things. That's the best place to start before we get to anything else that we're going to talk about today in this episode, figuring out what it is, because you can't know what to fix if you don't know what you're dealing with. So let's just go ahead and start right there. And then of course with the journaling comes with meditation as well. And this is also an amazing practice. You can do this while even doing yoga, just kind of get your full body to kind of get into the same practice as well. Just finding the time to sit with yourself, sit with whatever higher power you believe in. I know we have multiple denominations, watching these videos. So whatever you subscribe to as far as your religion or, spiritual practices, finding a way to kind of tune in with that feeling, that power, and really be able to kind of like center yourself to kind of figure out really what life is about in this current moment. Figure out what's important, what's not as important, what things you should be putting your real attention to, who you should be giving your time to, what things are you here to really put your real energy and focus on. And just small times throughout the day. We don't need you to be sitting here humming with the legs crossed Indian style for an hour a day. If you can get up even just 10 minutes earlier in the morning, don't turn on no radio, don't turn on TV, don't even look at your phone. It don't even matter. Just hit that snooze on that alarm. Give yourself 10 minutes to just sit and just really sit with yourself and feel like, how am I feeling today? Am I feeling good? Am I feeling optimistic? Am I feeling a little down? What's causing this feeling? What happened yesterday, last night, in a dream, whatever like that? Like have that little time to kind of self-analyze. I know me and Deion love to go outside personally and do our thing outdoors, because sometimes it could be the earth sign on us, but getting into the green, the trees and the bushes and just the dirt in nature, it helps you to really able to really settle and connect. But definitely starting a practice of meditation and journaling are going to be amazing things to at least be able to put things into place as far as your perspective on what your stresses are in life and kind of able to work your way around them. But I'm gonna let Deion give us some more tips, because I know he has some gems for us that he's gonna drop really quick.
You already know. Before I do, I want to just piggyback off what you just said. Whether it's the earth signs in us or not, the most important thing as far as reflecting is grounding yourself. That's the whole point of that meditation, is grounding yourself. Everything that's been going on, all your stressors and whatnot, this is time for you to center, come down, ground into the earth, which is why we go outside. And then from there, you can start visualizing, seeing, and, like you said, just really start processing certain things, but also at the same time, taking that opportunity to literally, like you said, be with yourself and just be present in the moment. So just wanted to say that as well. Now, some of the things that you can help, you can do to help with your stress management is literally being around friends and family. So like you said, Joy, really reflecting to see that, who are some of the people that we might need to, or be around. That will make a huge difference, because it's a support system. We've been talking about support system since way beyond. Your support system will help you a lot, especially if you have the right people, and deciding to have the right people that you can confide in, even if they're not giving you an answer, will make a night and day difference. Another thing is a lifestyle audit. So really finding out all the key stressors. And I really think that everybody needs to be honest with themselves, because we know that there's certain stress factors that we just don't want to, acknowledge. to be real with you, whether it's a significant other, whether it's the job that you're at, whether it's whatever you have to do for your family, whatever it is, there's something that's going on or multiple things that you know are the stress factor. Sit down, face them, identify them, and figure out how you can either eliminate them or find some type of plan where you can start slowly reducing that stress factor or, again, setting boundaries. I think that was another thing that we said, a couple of episodes ago, but it really comes down to setting your boundaries and really making sure that you're doing this for you. Um, the next thing is clean eating. What you got to say? What you got?
I was like, what's my favorite word? Boundaries. Like,
It
that's
sure
really my
is.
thing. When I tell you, like, I can really go on a whole tangent about setting healthy, strong boundaries, but I don't let Deion finish before I get into, we're going to go left. But
100%. Just keep that word. Just keep that word. The next thing is clean eating. So the foods that we eat can have an adverse effect on how we feel and how we're processing certain things. So that whole saying "you are what you eat" is a real thing. We're not going to go too deep into how that whole process works and whatnot, but all I can say is do your due diligence in regards to if you are consuming meat. And again, this is no way by any means telling anybody that they need to be plant-based, vegan, vegetarian, or any of that, pescatarian. Just pay attention to where these sources are coming from is all we're saying. Because either let's just say it's grass-fed, whatever, cool. Pasture-raised, that's cool. But once you start to look at other forms, honestly, you don't know what their practices are, and you don't know if they're actually telling you the truth. Just saying, something for y'all to think about. I'm gonna drop that mic. But again, some of that food does have a huge play in your hormones as well too. And again, these are some of the things that you need to be mindful of because if it's an imbalance within your hormones, that also will cause your stress to go up as well too, depending on what's going on within your body.
yeah.
So joining a supportive community, and this can be anything from whether it's interest group, Facebook, church, dance, Reddit, however you do it, however you do it. Sports teams, there's so many different ways that you can, really find a way to reduce that stress and find a way to maintain it. Especially with people who have anxiety, we know we have anxiety. It's not something that's going to ever go away. All we can really do is manage your anxiety and be aware of when you have your anxiety and what steps to go through to make sure that you bring it back down. It's the same thing with your stress management. The next thing is practicing gratitude. You know what I mean? And just really thinking about what that word means. Matter of fact, hold on. Let me do this for y'all. I like to do the class research, and we'll give you a full definition.
Oh, come
Um,
on. Words mean things. So let's
Words
see.
mean things, and of course they have multiple, meanings. So just so we're clear, gratitude is the quality of being thankful. I'm gonna leave it right there. That's it. The quality of being thankful. I think we go through life so often wishing that we had this, wishing that we had that. We should be here. We should be there. Be thankful for what you have. I was
Right.
My whole mentality is there's always somebody that has it worse. So be very grateful for what you have. Same thing as gratitude. So
It's,
go ahead.
I was going to say, like, especially, like, during this time where, social media already has a very big presence as far as how people view themselves, their own perceptions of the world. A lot of that is skewed based upon what we see through media, online, and all that. So, during this time, you're going to see everybody who's getting these amazing gifts, spending all the time with his family. It's always going to appear to be like, oh, why can't I have this kind of lifestyle, this kind of partner, these kind of gifts, this kind of money, influence, the list can go on and on. And it's not about not wanting to obtain those things. You should want to have better for yourself. I'm not ever going to tell somebody to limit themselves. It's just not in my, DNA.
Right.
But the whole thing is that being grateful for where you are now, because like Deion said, things can always take a turn for the worse. There are folks out here who don't have a roof over their head, don't have a light to turn on, food to eat, family to go see, any of that. So if you even have one thing a day to even just say, I'm thankful that I paid my bill this morning. Lord, I thank you that I have this job, whether I like it or not. I'm
Right.
glad that I have this job because it affords me the opportunity to be able to take care of myself. So just like putting things into a greater perspective, to be conscious of the small things that you have that you should be grateful for, and just like starting to build upon that. Like just saying like one small thing. I'm thankful that my kids are healthy. I'm thankful that I'm healthy. I'm thankful that my parents are still alive. I'm thankful for the life that they did have if they weren't, if they're not still here with us today. Like having just like, little small gratitude practices that you can try to implement daily into your routine. It's going to over time create a real compound effect where you see yourself becoming more positive minded, become more optimistic. So definitely, like, I always practice, like, talk about affirmations and really affirming yourself and affirming your lifestyle. That's really a practice of gratitude that I personally, implement every day into my life. Really reciting out loud. And like I say it with your chest, don't say like, oh, I'm going to be successful one day. Like, no, I am successful. We are wealthy, we are strong, we are healthy. You know what I'm saying? Like everything I need, I already have within me to make anything that I want to manifest. Like really say it into the point to where it's already a reality in your mind. Because our brain can't tell whether or not anything is real or perceived. It knows what you said. That's as far as our mind is able to, comprehend what's going on. You said it, so therefore in your mind is real. So you don't want to keep, putting into your mind that things are never going to get better, things are never going to be, where you want. I want their life, their relationship, their house, their car, whatever. In your mind, I have what I need. I have that healthy relationship that that I feel supported and loved in. I have the home that I can come in and feel at peace. I have kids that are, thriving and able to really enjoy their childhood. They're making great friends, doing well in school, whatever like that. Like, whatever your thing is, make it a definitive statement. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Make it a real definitive statement. Hold on to that. And that's going to be how you kind of start to make those practices work for you.
And I want to piggyback off of that. And afterwards, I want to pass it back to you. 7 words, it's literally 7 words to everything that you just said to add on, just to seal that cap. Be very aware of what you say, especially when it comes to anything that's negative. I can't, I won't, all of that. I was always told, say it and so it shall be. And all that means is be very careful with your words. We've already said words of power. So say it and so it shall be. So if you're keeping a positive state of mind, you are manifesting positivity. You are literally radiating, well, not even necessarily radiating, but you're exerting and you're pushing out nothing but positivity. So what are you going to do? Receive positivity. You get what you receive. Well, technically, yeah, you give what you get, or get what you give. So that's one thing I want everybody to be very aware of. Say it and so it shall be. But yes, I would like to pass it back to you.
Yes. And then with the practices of, gratitude, affirmations, all that for me kind of ties into having a good self-care routine. So speaking positively about yourself and your lifestyle is one aspect of it. And you go into the more, I guess, physical wellness things of it. So whether it be like finding a day to just treat yourself, whether it could be a good meal, a fun activity, a hobby, finding like either for us, their nails done, hair done, everything did, whatever it could be that makes you feel like you're taking care of yourself. I think everything that you can exude to anybody else, any kind of way you talk to anybody else, that you that like the energy that you put out kind of starts with how you feel about yourself. So being able to have a ways to show yourself love, it's going to make it that much easier for you to be able to have that same kind of energy to go back out to anybody else. So if figure out whatever that thing is for you. It could be as simple as when I get home, I'm not dealing with nobody. The phone is off. D&D, do not disturb. Do not talk to me for the next 2, 3, 8 hours, however long, 24, 48. Take a whole weekend if you really want to. It's like, I don't want nobody to bother me about no work, no business, no family mess, no nothing. This is my time to even just be at home with a glass of wine watching my shows. It could be as simple as that. Like, you don't have to, spend money to have like a real self-care routine. It could just be you finding ways to feel at peace and in love with yourself. So however that looks for you, figure that out, work on it, work through that schedule, especially now, during the holidays where we're able to kind of like have a little bit of time here and there to have with ourselves, have with our families. And if you have family coming into town or you're going out to visit them or whatever, it can get a little hectic. So even amongst all those, rip runs and shenanigans or whatever, you can just take a little time to go out to the side and just, okay, I'm gonna just before everybody gets up, let me just take 10 minutes to meditate. Before everybody gets up, let me just make a nice little bath for myself. It does not matter. Whatever it is, find it and then start to do that consistently for yourself because you deserve it. Just simple as that. And then what's my favorite word, Deion?
Boundaries.
Okay. So setting healthy boundaries. And I have to put the word healthy in there because some folks can take the advice of setting boundaries as to set up guards instead of walls. And I don't want us to get the two misconstrued. These are two separate things. We do not want you to set up walls and guards to where you cannot allow folks to really be able to experience your full amazingness, but you don't want to take advantage of it at the same breath. So, especially when it comes to dealing with family, friends, co-workers, employers, whatever like that, the best way to start setting boundaries is to have a true understanding of what you deserve and what you really will and will not tolerate. So that's like the basis of it. That's why it kind of goes back into, figuring out what those stressors are and understanding like what causes you distress in your life. And so, okay, so if I can try to minimize this, what do I need to do to where I don't have to deal with certain things as much? If you're dealing with a family member who's like, a little more toxic, can't say anything positive, it's like, okay, I know when I get around this person, it's going to bring my energy down. So what kind of boundary can I set? So that way, because, you can't make anybody else change how they are. The only thing you can do is change how you react to it. So it's not even about them right now. It's really about you. It's okay. I know they're going to come with this negative energy, with this, whatever, the case may be. I'm going to decide to just walk away. It could be as simple as, it's nice seeing you, love. It's been a minute. You looking amazing. Enjoy your meal. Walk away. Or it's like, I really don't want to get into that tonight. I really want to have a good time. Dead the conversation. It could be just like that. And for people out there who love to please other people, y'all hear me. I need y'all really the ones that I want to have strong boundaries, because you're the ones who you have that very, very empathetic heart, very giving, always willing to overextend yourself for others. And it's not for you to not want to continue to have that same kind of, practices, because that's just who you are innately, but being able to have a good cutoff to where I'm going to help you up until this point, because that's just who I am. I'm generous in nature. I don't want to try to go against who I am because of how you may try to take advantage of the whole scenario. It's like, I'm going to help you here, and at this point, just for my own personal wellness, it's not you, it's me. For my own personal sanity, I have to cut this off right here, because I know that if I go anything further than this, it's teetering on that, folks will only do what you allow them to do. So just so I can't allow you to do me any kind of way, I had to put that boundary up for my own self-protection. And that's all boundaries are. It's setting up protections for yourself, for your mental health, even for your physical health, wellness, whatever, however that looks for you. So, and this can be done, like I said, figuring out what you do and do not deserve, or do and do not want to have to tolerate when it comes to certain scenarios. And then, of course, working through things with a licensed therapist is always going to be an amazing route to take. I'm so glad that we're starting to have more conversations on mental health now, especially within our community, because everything for so long was just we don't talk about it. What happens in the house stays in the house. This is our business. Don't tell the word about, what's going on amongst us. But it's like we already have so many outside triggers just from who we are as, as people in general, and then dealing with very, individualized lifestyle traumas, all that. It's not healthy to have that just bogged in, and you can't just work through all those things by yourself. So, having that support system, doing these certain things that we, have already discussed in the episode can help, but then having somebody who's actually certified to help you actually work through whatever, has gone on, within your life, and learning what things may have triggered certain reactions out of you, whatever like that. That's going to be a very big eye-opening thing, to where that's where that real self-awareness piece starts to really kick in. You know what I'm saying? So if you can, BetterHelp and all of them are amazing tools. They have, local numbers that you can call if you're really in like a more immediate need to get somebody to really just be able to sit on the phone with you and really work through it, whatever is going on. But definitely look into that if you are able to do that. And, kind of start to take things from there when it comes to all of our practices. But all this to say is that when it comes to dealing with the holidays, we want to have a overall wellness approach to it. Like I said, we're going to enjoy our time with our families. We're going to be enjoying some good food, but no good comes without a bad, along with it in a way. So it's like, you're going to be around all the ones who we love and the ones who can still get on our nerves in the same breath. So being able to, handle these different stresses, whether it be financially, family, relationships, whatever the case may be, putting these certain things into place is going to make it a much smoother season, a much smoother lifelong journey for us to be able to go through, and learning how to be able to manage the woes of life, because life is never going to stop happening to us. That's just, it really is what it is. It's never going to stop going. Learning how to know how to manage it to where we're able to still have a nice, healthy wellness, lifestyle overall is going to be absolutely key. And before I kind of just put everything in this little bubble for us for this episode, Deion, was there anything else that you may have wanted to add? Any last notes before we kind of have the wrap up for this episode?
No, I have nothing, no more at all. Like literally, you handling it. No, but honestly, no. The only thing I would say is everybody just keep a lookout as far as, set aside from what we're talking about right now, just so I could go ahead and get it done and let you wrap it up. Keep an eye on the website. We're going to be dropping a new recipe this Sunday, Sunday evening, probably afternoon, evening, but definitely keep an eye on it. We're going to be posting on the story timeline as well, so you know what's going on, where you can find it. It's going to be on that website. Like we said, we'll have the link, click it and follow it. But other than that, that's it. I don't have anything else to say.
Okay, well, now that we're done with those church announcements, y'all, let's go ahead and give. Let's go ahead and wrap this thing up. All right, y'all. So key takeaways from today's episode: understanding what causes stress. Life. One word.
Yeah.
But no, for real. So like I said, lifestyle changes, work, school, family, finances, health things, whatever stress can come at us from different, storms, waves, however you want to put a word on it. And so, of course, like you said, it can manifest in very physical ways in your body, where it be like, heightened blood pressure, headaches, anxiety, fatigue, lack of not wanting to be as social as you used to be, turning to various drugs or other vices to kind of help cope with the stress is without actually dealing with it head on. And then, of course, doing these certain things can lead to more chronic conditions when it comes to your health, and lead to, weakened immune systems, and later that can turn into illnesses. So like I said, the best thing that we can do is learn how to prevent it or be able to reduce it back if you already find yourself in a state of already being kind of stressed out. So we do this through exercise, through journaling, meditation, finding that community for you able to be around people who are supportive, like-minded, positive. Positive is the word right here, because it's easy to find a community of people who can just be like-minded, but not necessarily be like, have the right kind of mindset. Right. So making sure that you're around the right kind of community, because your success lives in your circle. So those who you are around is going to be a really big indicator of how you're going to be able to move forward as well. So keeping that in mind, whether it be online communities or in person, choose your circle wisely now. Being able to have that practice of gratitude, whether it be affirming yourself, like you said, taking that time either in the morning to meditate, whatever like that, to kind of be able to take into account the things that you have that you should be thankful for. And it's a season for it anyways. It's, Thanksgiving is Friday. It's a time now to really be, really thankful for the things that we have already. So kind of just keeping that going forward, even past this, holiday season. Setting those great, amazing self-care routines, so figuring out ways to really treat yourself, because like I said, you deserve it. And setting those healthy boundaries, because you deserve those as well. So being able to know what you do and do not deserve, and then hold fast to that choice, regardless of how anybody may take your boundaries. People can get offended by you setting boundaries. Don't take it personal. Just let them know it's not you, it's me. And then having, if you can, seek a therapist, a licensed therapist, able to really help you put in tangible physical practices in place to know how to manage your stress long term. So with all those things in mind, these are things for you guys to keep in mind as far as how to handle the holidays and life, thereafter. Just things for us to put in place that we were able to keep our minds clear, and then within, in turn, keep our bodies clear and healthy as well. And so with that being said, y'all, we're going to wrap up this episode. As always, it is amazing coming through with y'all each and every single week. And I think we're also going to be going, and y'all, if y'all haven't already, if you're just finding us on YouTube, y'all definitely come over to Instagram as well. We go live each week to kind of do like a little prelude to the episode before it actually drops. So if you're watching this video now, I'm pretty sure we already went live for this episode, but it'll still be on the Instagram page at Evolve Fitness FLA. So definitely go ahead and go back to the page and still watch the recap, because it's very fun to go in there and talk with y'all in person, get that real live feedback. It's always a good time. It's always a good conversation. And so, yeah, like we say each and every week, like, share with how many people, Deion?
That's all, y'all.
That's all we asking for, y'all. Just, the chef, your butcher, and your dog's playpen or playmate or whatever, whoever. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? If somebody new every week, we're gonna share this video to each and every time. Give this episode out to your auntie. Put this video on the TV, screen share the TV during Thanksgiving dinner. Y'all just sit around and talk about how to, relieve stress together. However you make that play, make it work out. But share with 3 people. Go ahead and hit that bell on the side as well, that you guys know every time we're actually going to be uploading. It's going to be every Friday. But of course, you don't want to be the last to know about what's going on. You don't want to be the last to hear all these good gems that we're going to be dropping each and every week. So turn on that bell, make sure that you know as soon as things drop what's going on. And of course, if you haven't already, go back down below in the comment section and let's keep this conversation going. We love the interaction, the feedback. Let us know your takeaways from today's episode. What things are you guys going to start doing to start putting these wellness practices into place to help better manage your stress and everything? We love to kind of see, you guys going through the journey, even just through the comment, and seeing the growth and how your conversation is and all that. So please keep us in the loop. Keep us in the loop. And then with that said, I didn't have anything else to add for us today. You don't say peace to the people or nothing.
Peace to all of y'all, everybody. Nah, seriously though, we appreciate y'all. Everything that you all have done for us as far as the support, that's really all we really need from you all. It's just the support, sharing with everybody. Just getting this information to as many people as possible. That's why we're just asking to like and share. So the more that you all do that, and it only takes a fraction of a second, just a fraction of a second, that will actually be able to take all this information and spread it out further throughout YouTube. As we know, there's billions of people that watch this stuff. And it's just more of, again, this content is for you all. So we want to make sure we can get this to as many people as possible. But other than that, I really don't have anything to say, but we genuinely love y'all. We appreciate all the support since day one. And again, we will be seeing you in the next episode.
Bye, y'all.
Take it easy.